question is, many people come to college for many different reasons. What did coming to college mean for you?
I came to college because I felt that my past of my family and abuse and everything, and no one in my family went to college, so I felt the need to go to college so I won't end up like how my family was and just make a better life for myself, because if I didn't do it, who was going to do it for me?
Thank you. Before you stop, can you just introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, where you go to school, and what's your major?
Hi, I'm Isaiah Wright. I go to Merced Community College, and I'm currently studying music. And yeah, it's weird that I'm afraid to speak to people, but I can sing in front of lots of people, so this is nerve-wracking.
Anybody else want to respond to that question? People come to college for many different reasons. What did coming to college mean for you? Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Desiree. I'm currently a fourth year here at UC Merced. I'm studying political science with a minor in professional writing. Why I came to college, I'm the first person in my family to come to college, be that my real family and my adopted family. I came to college because it was my way out. It was the door to a better life, to something where I had control over where I was going and who I was going to become. And college showed me, going to college was like, it was the path that said, this is who you get to be, and no one gets to tell you anything here. This is your life, and you get to live it and make the choices and become the person you want, not the person your past told you you should be. So that's why I came to college.
Hello, my name is Arian Dandy. I go to Merced College, Merced Unit College. And coming to college is my second chance. I'm out the streets, you know, trying to better myself, better my life. So that's why I came to college.
Hello, my name is Shamari. Honestly, the reason why I came to college is because I seen it as an opportunity to do something with my life. I didn't see any other way except college. I didn't know what else to do, so that's just where I got started.
Hi everybody, my name is Ashley Simmons and I'm a student at Madera Community College. I am actually planning to get my associate's degree in biosci, and then I am planning to go to a UC and then hopefully to Stanford so I can become an anesthesiologist. Honestly, I had a lot of anger and pain and hatred towards my mom and towards my social worker and towards my teachers, and I decided that I needed to make money and nobody was going to make money for me but myself. And after high school, I didn't go to college, and so I have to go to community. I decided to work at Jack in the Box and a slaughterhouse, and it was just really painful, and my body was hurting. And then that's when I realized like school was going to really help me, and I had a brain and I could get good grades, and anybody is really capable of it. So.
While we're waiting, do any of you guys have any personal questions that you can ask us?
How was life for you guys?
The question was, how was life for us in foster care?
Life in foster care, it was hard for a long time. I was always bullied for who I was and how I was different from other people. And not only because I was in foster care, but because people just found ways to bully people and they just tried to make themselves feel better. So it was hard a lot being different from everyone and how they would treat me differently. And it was hard, but at the end of the day, I always knew that I didn't have to stoop down to other people, what they said, and I didn't have to let what the labels they put on me define me in my life, because I knew that I was going to overcome what happened. So,
Great question. Okay, students can have a wide variety of experiences when they transition to college, and they come from many different backgrounds. Thinking back, what was the transition to college like for you?
The transition from college, and you talking about life right before college?
Right, the transition, right. Because you know, high school, college and high school, they're different, right?
Yeah.
You're independent,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do. What was that transition? Can you talk about that transition?
You gotta grow up real quick, you know, be responsible. Right now I'm in the THP program, so I have to know how to manage my money, you know. But when you're in high school, you don't, some people, I mean, sometimes you don't really learn things like that, you know. You know, it's real different, like,
Yeah, to follow up on what he said, transitioning, you know, before you go to college is different. For me, it was different because I was always around new people, so that was okay for me. But it was still because I had to learn how to cooperate with these people. I had to learn how to learn with these people, like classes and things like that. And when you're in foster care, you just have to learn how to like live with people, and that's fine. You just have to say hi, get along with your day, and then but you have to like coordinate with people that's different. You have to like grow. Yeah, you have to like be responsible for like a lot of different things. And you have to take things more seriously.
This one? This one. All right. Transitioning from high school to college was harder than I had expected because I had been working my whole life. Like I can remember being like 8 years old and telling myself, I'm going to college. I cannot wait till I'm 18. I cannot wait till I get to leave and go start my life. And it was actually a shock that moving away to college and all that from everything that I know and everyone I know and the familiarity of all that was actually quite difficult. I didn't realize I'd actually missed where I came from. And I didn't actually think about like kind of like all the responsibility that comes along with really truly being on your own. And so really trying to understand like, you have to go to school 8 hours a day, right? Like that's school for you guys right now. Every Monday through Friday, 8 hours. Here, no, you don't go to school 8 hours a day. You have maybe 2 classes a day, and the classes are like 1 hour to maybe 2 hours long, and then you're done. The rest of the day is yours. And so really learning how to manage that time and not waste it and squander it away doing nothing, and really working to stay at the university because there's nobody who's going to say, hey, did you do your assignment? Did you study for your exam? Have you done this? Have you done that? Did you clean your room? No one's doing that for you anymore. Like, no one cares if you show up to lecture. Nobody. Like, they're not going to call your parents or your foster parent and be like, hey, so-and-so didn't come to class today. No one does that. So really holding yourself accountable and responsible for your actions was probably the hugest transition from high school to college for me.
I do have a question for you. So no one's going to make you do anything. Now, if you don't go to lecture and you don't go to classes, what happens?
Well, immediately nothing happens to you. No one says anything or anything, but later on down the road, when you have to take that exam or you have to turn that assignment, maybe you don't know the due date because you didn't go to class and therefore you never heard, or when you show up for your exam, you never showed up to lecture, so you don't have any of knowledge of what you were supposed to learn in class, and so you go to take that test and you just don't pass it. And then if you keep doing that, you don't pass your classes, your college or university is going to be like, we don't want you here anymore, like you're not passing classes, you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a college student to get through the rest of it. So that's what happened.
Go ahead. You want to add to?
I just want to tell you guys, like, I know it's probably really boring what we're talking about right now, and you might not fully understand what, like, lectures are, exams are. It's like tests, and just when you're in class and you're, like, listening to the teacher. And honestly, like I told you guys, I didn't go to college right out of high school. I was like, I'm going to go work. I'm going to make money. I'm going to be able to rent an apartment and get a car and go party and do whatever I want. Making $8 an hour, no, you don't make any money. You can't even really get an apartment with that kind of money. So it was really tough for me. And I just want to let you guys know, like, school is so important. Like, I know that you might not think of like that right now, but later on, sometimes you have to, you know, sometimes some kind of people, they have to, something bad has to happen to you for you to realize what you need to do. That's just how some people are. And so, like, for me, I had to go and work and see how hard it is to work all day long with making no kind of money to realize, like, I need to go to school. I need to take care of myself. And I just want to let you guys know, like, you guys are all capable. And there's so many jobs. There's so many things that you can study.
I agree with what they've all said, but at the same time, there are some people who choose not to go to college and they're not ready, and it's just not for them. Before I even enrolled in college, I was going to go to the Navy and go from there, because I was in GROTC in high school, and I thought the Navy was for me, but push comes to shove, I didn't qualify, so I had to settle for college. And at the same time, for a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, because I was in, okay, college, whatever. But then I saw the military, I was like, okay, we'll do this first. But I didn't get into the military, and then I had to settle for college. And I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do, but it's always like those people told me, oh, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, you need to make big money. What other people tell you to do, and if you don't feel right with it, don't do it, because it's only gonna mess you up in the long run. So there's been a lot of people that said, oh, you shouldn't be a music teacher. Well, I'm doing it because I don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a scientist, because that's not what I do. And I still go through times where I do get depressed and say, am I doing the right thing? But at the end of the day, I have to know that it's my life, what I do with it. And it is hard because, you know, like they said, you don't have people telling you what to do. You just got to go with emotions. And when you screw up, no one's going to say, oh, well, I'll help you out. You had to fix what you did wrong. And it's just, you got to learn from your mistakes and learn not to make them again. Question?
What was the hardest part to get over when you were foster care?
High school, to be honest. I was bullied, tormented through high school. People in high school, they're mean. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that everything's okay. I was bullied for a very long time, and finally, when I put my foot down and said, I'm not gonna be bullied anymore. I'm not gonna let what bullies say affect me because I was fat or whatever they called me. I didn't want that to define who I was, so I had to block that out, and I had to focus on what I did. And at the long run, I almost wasn't going to graduate high school, but you know what? I did what I had to do to graduate high school and to be able to go to college. So it's just what other people told me and put in my head. It really affected me for the longest time.
So I'm a person, I like quotes, right? So right now I'm gonna segue with the quote, right? And here's the quote. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. That's Dr. Martin Luther King. Right? Next question. Did your decision to attend college affect your relationships with your friends, family at home? If yes, how?
This one's actually an easier question. When I decided to go to college, my family was like, oh yeah, you're going to college, you know, good for you. But then when they found out what I was majoring in, it was really difficult because my mom always had this American dream of being able to live in a big house and go on vacation whenever I wanted to and not have to worry about being poor. But at the same time, there's always those roadblocks that are gonna change your mind, and I just had to figure out that it's not my mom's life, it's my life, and I had to live it. And I did lose a lot of friends because we all went to different colleges, and some of the friends I had in high school that were to the same college, I started off with them and not really caring about just going through it. But then when I noticed that my grades were falling down and I needed to do something about it, I ended up cutting a lot of people out and I ended up getting grades up. I did lose quite a few friends because I stopped hanging out with them. And I just saw that my education was better than having friends. You can always make friends, but your degrees and whatever you major in, they can never take those away from you. Those are yours forever.
So, me, I have a lot of friends and family who aren't in college, who have dropped out of high school, things like that. So for me to go to college, I kind of feel obligated, you know, to show them that we can do this, you know. Like, I mean, they call, like, the relationship that I have with my peers, with my friends and family that are back at home, like, they kind of put me on a pedestal almost, it feels like, you know? Like I really do feel obligated to do this, to actually graduate and, you know, like to actually talk about, like, coming to my graduation, things like that. I mean, I just feel like I can't go back to, you know, I just can't go back.
Going to college, I was told to like be a doctor, and you know, many people from my family was telling me what to do, and I tried to follow that in the beginning, and then I realized like I'm not earning my degrees for them, I'm not living my life for them, I'm living it for myself. So I had to find what I really liked, and stop letting like other people corrupt what was like what I wanted to do. Instead to live for myself instead of for other people. For my friends, many of my friends didn't go to college. Some stayed, worked, you know, got their money. So I really didn't keep too much in touch with a lot of my friends. But you get to notice like who's really there for you, who's there to support you, and you know, along your journey. And people who are like mad that you don't have time to talk to them because you're studying and stuff, like they're not your real friends. Like you get to notice that, like who's really like there for you, and that's pretty cool.
For me, the hardest part was family, especially family. Being the first person and the only person to go to college, and I have siblings who are kind of headed down similar roads of my parents and stuff like that, so they're not doing too well. So the hardest part for me is going home and not seeing change. Like when I do actually visit home, because I'm changing. I'm becoming a totally, completely different person than I was growing up in the house that I grew up in. And it's hard to relate. It's extremely difficult to go home and talk about the things I'm doing because the world I'm living in is completely 100% different from the world they're living in. And they can't understand where I'm coming from anymore. And it's difficult to relate to them because they're stuck in the place that I left them almost 4 years ago. It's been 4 years, and I can go home and the same exact thing is happening. I could like tell you their exact week that's going to occur because nothing changes. And so it's extremely difficult to watch that because all I want to do is take my younger sisters, take my younger brother, and like bring them with me and lift them up and show them the life that they deserve to have. And I can't do that because I'm only 21 years old and I don't have a job and I'm barely finishing college and it's just not possible. So that's probably the hardest thing for me is watching my family, especially my younger siblings, still deteriorating and falling down to the cracks and not living the lives they deserve to live and not following the path that they should walk on. And that's probably the hardest thing for me is that I just try my hardest to encourage my younger sisters and my younger brother to do the right thing, to graduate from high school, to go to college, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. I can't force them to do well in school. I can't force them to care about their education. And so when I watch and see them not doing it, it really hurts me and it really makes me sad and upset when I go home to see them pretty much going to end up the way that I've fought so hard not to end up. So that's probably where my relationships have changed with my family.
I think that's kind of hilarious because I'm like in the exact same situation. My mom got me back right before I turned 18, you guys, and I have 5 siblings and I'm the oldest. And my whole life has been about not letting them go to foster care because I've been in foster care 3 different times. And my mom is a big drug addict, and my stepfather is very abusive. And all I try to do with my younger siblings is tell them, like, read, go to school, enjoy the classes, enjoy the things that you learn. Because not only like are they beautiful and you're gonna learn about the world and about your friends and your family, you're gonna succeed in life. And for me, I'm the first to graduate high school. I'm the first to go to college, the same. And so, like, everyone was proud of me. They were very proud that I decided to go to college. My mom, and then I live with my boyfriend and his family though, and they're very proud. And so, it's awesome. It's awesome to do that. It's awesome to be that person that finally steps up and makes a difference for your family and tries to be, especially if you guys are the oldest brother and sister of your family, it's really something special to try to be that person that can mentor them. It's very important to think about that because they look up to you.
So I want to have another segue here. I want to talk to you guys about a football player. You guys know who Terrell Owens is? He used to play for the 49ers. Who knows who he is? Right? Kind of a controversial figure, Hall of Fame player, right? But he was being interviewed one time, and I was watching the interview, and he was going through, because people were talking about his attitude, his poor attitude, right? I think when I was communicating with you, I talked to you guys about that, right? How we communicate, right? Go to the source, right? But the media was on him, right? They were really challenging him, right? And you know what he said to them, to the media people? He said, I love me some me. I love me some me. And I had to stop the TV and rewind it. You know, because he was saying to them, no matter what you saying about me, I care about who I am. Right? I care about me. I do matter. You do matter. I need all of you to stand up. Right? Everybody stand up. And I want to hear each one. I want to hear you say it. I love me some me.
I love me some me.
No, that's not good. I love me some me.
I love me some me.
I'll let y'all sit down when I can feel it. Let me hear you. I love me some me.
I love me some me.
All right, that's better. I like that. Oh, y'all can join in too on stage, right? That's just a quick little affirmation, right? Sometimes when people are being negative with you, right? And they're telling you things, you just say, I love me some me, right? You matter. You do matter, right? You have to matter to yourself, okay? I love me some me.
I love me some me. I love me some me.
I love me some me. I love me some me. All right, panelists, I have another question for you. Are you ready? Can you provide an example of an obstacle that you faced when you came to college and how you resolved it?
I was all alone. I had no idea what I was doing, and this beautiful, wonderful woman over here, Donna, is my counselor for the Madera.
I guess one of the biggest obstacles I have faced so far in my college career has been putting too much pressure on myself to be perfect. I just really want to not mess up. I don't want to lose the opportunity that I have. Like, I'm definitely afraid that if I don't do things correctly or right, that I'm not going to be able to stay here anymore. And that's probably like my biggest fear in life, is to not be able to do the things I want and to have to return to the life that I left, that I worked so hard to get away from. And so my biggest obstacle is not beating myself up so much all the time, because I want to be able to do things well, and so I have to be able to tell myself that, you know, getting a B in a class, that's okay. You can live with it, like, and committing to a lot of things. I just want to be able to do all kinds of stuff, and you have to realize you can't do it all, and you have to ask for help. So always relying on myself has probably been my downfall in college thus far, because I hate asking anybody for any help, because my whole life has been, you have you. You don't have anyone else. You have you. Take care of you. And so doing that, so opening myself up to other people and accepting help from others has probably been my biggest obstacle.
There are so many obstacles, like, for real. Classes, dealing with people. Man, the biggest obstacle for me would probably be to, like, the transition was for me to learn how to just be myself. You get to college and there's like so many different people, and it's not like high school, you know, sometimes you just want to fit in, but like in college you learn how to be yourself and stand out and do what makes you happy. Like if whatever like your degree is, whatever you want to study, and like if that makes you happy, and you love it, and do that. I mean, finding out who you are and what you want to do and what's important to you, that's really hard. And that was like the biggest obstacle for me.
My obstacle so far is staying focused, and staying determined to just complete my schoolwork. You know, you gotta turn it in on time. So, you know, so it's just another obstacle. When you're in college, well, now that I'm in college, I actually have my I have someone who helps me, my social worker. She helps me with my work, but not well to print out papers, you know, things like that, research assignments and things like that. So I feel like that's another obstacle. I'm blessed to have that, somebody here to help me, you know. So.
All right, my biggest obstacle is still work in progress. It's being confident in who I am and what I felt when I felt what other people said about me, just ignoring that and living for myself. Because honestly, I may seem really confident, but I have a lot of insecurities. Like there's like I could write you a 2-page essay on it. But it's just being able to put that aside and not care about what people have to say about me and what they say try to deteriorate me. It's a work in progress. It's like something it's always going to be something to work on, and nothing is really resolved in that matter until you feel that you're ready to just accept that people are always going to be negative and just turn what they say into like a fuel to make yourself a better person. That's basically what I've done is when people say negative things, I just take that and add that to the list of things why I should be successful. So when I look back at everything that as everyone said to me, I can say, oh, well, none of that's on here. So just that type of thing, just finding what you want to do and not letting other people tell you no. You have a question?
Yes. That's my question. Have you ever read the Bible?
Religion. Okay, so my thing is, I'm not really, like, I read the Bible and stuff. I'm not, like, super hardcore Christian or Catholic. I don't have any problems against that. But I do believe that there's an upper power in some sort that's always there to help you. And because there was a time where I was very depressed and I felt like I wasn't going to make it to the next day. There was times where I wanted just to end my life, but then there was always that something that was there that always pushed me to the day and keep going. No matter how hard I felt my life was, there was always something that kept me going. And I do believe that that is an upper power, that is a work of magic or whatever you want to call it. I just felt like being who I wasn't really like accepted in church as much back then. So I stopped going for a long time, but I still do believe that there's up there and that, you know, just working on yourself and living for me will be.
So now, I need you guys to choose to listen, because I'm doing another segue. I got another quote. Now this is, y'all got to think about this one. This is going to require you to think, right? So here's the quote. I hope I don't screw this one up. If you see someone more successful than you, then they're doing something you're not. Right? That, you got to think about that, right? If you see someone more successful than you, then they're doing something you're not. Malcolm X. Right? Think about it. He had a single first, okay? Yes, young man, yes.
When I hear a quote, to me it means like you're not doing something right, and you either fix what you're doing wrong. Which is that guy is studying harder, and you're not like
good third. You know what you can do? You can go.
I think what they're not doing is, they're not looking at themselves, what they are, who they can be.
Good, 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 good. Someone else in there? I'll take one more hand. We're good. It's just requiring you to think. Yes.
So the people that they deserve to succeed,
Not necessarily.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead.
Okay, I agree with him. When I hear that quote, I hear that if you are looking at someone else that's more successful than you, you're worried about what other people do. You're not worried about what you do. The only way you can be successful is if you feel like you've done all you can to gain your success in yourself. I feel like you shouldn't have to worry about having a lot of money or a big house or nice cars. I feel like you should be happy, and that is the true success of being happy with your life.
So we're going to go to the next question. What experiences that you had prior to college prepared you to excel in ways that you wouldn't have anticipated at this time? So it's a good question.
When I was in high school, I was never in class. And the only thing that I was good at without being there is English. So I would pass all my English classes, but when I went to science and math, I had no idea what was going on. So I would be getting C's, D's, F's. I had to go back to summer school, retake it. And that has a lot to do with my home life, with my mom, and then a lot of trouble that I had from being in foster care, because I just didn't care, and nobody cared about me, and I had no friends. What was the point of going to school? I'm just by myself all day long. And so finally, when I graduated and I moved out and I eventually went to college, I actually did all my homework. I went to class every day and I paid attention, and I have straight A's. I'm a 4.0 student. And I didn't know I was capable of that. I had no idea that I could get those grades. I had no idea that I was good at math, because I was never in class to understand what was going on. So that's pretty much my experience.
No, I think I have it, but thank you. So an experience in my high school years that really has helped me be successful in college that I didn't know would actually help is my ability to seek out like good people to have around me, like the people that I hang out with, the people that I talk to and let be my friends and stuff like that, because I attended this conference my first year here at UC Merced, and there was a speaker, this woman, and she said that if you are the only person in your group of friends with a car, you need new friends. You need to have friends who are just like you, or you become the people that you are with. So I didn't realize that like I do that. I surround myself with people who are just like me, people who are determined to be successful, people who are determined to do well in class, people who are determined to change their lives and to change the world around them. And so my ability to pick friends like that and to have those good influences around me has helped me be more successful in college, because it created a support system that I'm able to rely on and to have around me. So picking friends who don't party and who don't skip classes has helped me be successful. And I didn't know that that was going to be the case. I didn't realize that it is actually extremely important the people you surround yourself with, and understanding that you actually do get to pick those in which you surround yourself with. And it's not determined that you have to hang out with one type of person. So just really understanding the people around you.
It's kind of funny because mine's actually similar to yours. My mom always told me to like, you see the person that's like carrying all the books and that's reading at your class and stuff, she always told me like to go with them, study what they're studying, sit with them. So it helped me to be better. Instead of hanging out with guys just like always like chilling or like behind the school, like smoking or whatever they're doing. So I got to college, same thing my mom put in my head. I'm still there. Find people that's like studying, find people that's doing what they have to do to like get to where they want to be. Like, hang out with those people, because that's really important, because that's motivation too. And that's helping you see like, it's helping you see what you have to do and like what you have to do to get where you want to go.
So no, not just high school. Something that's happening in your life that you didn't know and have anticipated.
All right, this is a good one. Okay, so when I was in high school, all I worried about was just getting through. You know, getting through and going to college. I never really thought of, like when I took the test, I never really took my time to actually take the test. All I knew is that just pass it. I never actually sat down and worked and double checked all my problems and stuff. And when I found out that I almost didn't graduate high school because of history, I had to take responsibility and go to those extra classes to get the history done and just pass it. But then when I went to take the assessment test at the college, I got my results back and I was like, okay, well, you know, I didn't really do good in high school, so I'll probably be in all like remedial lower classes. And I was actually shocked when they said that I was very smart, and for only taking 1 year math, I'm in high math, and for English, I was never really good at English. I just read the book and wrote the paper, and I'm really good at English too, and I just had to take responsibility for what I did, and know that, you know, I do have intelligence. I just have to take initiative and put my knowledge to the test.
All right, last question. What would you advise other students to do with backgrounds similar to your own?
Who wants to go first?
I think what I would tell you guys is that you're not gonna do anything that you're not gonna want to do. Like if you want to go somewhere and you want to meet somebody and you want to have this type of house and this type of car, and everybody has dreams. All of you guys are sitting there right now, and there's something in your head that you can tell me that you want to be when you get older. But the only person that can do that for you is yourself. And like he was saying earlier, the speaker, that you're the only person that's responsible for yourself. Yes, teachers and mentors and counselors, they'll try to help you. They'll try to help you pick the classes that you want, try to help you to figure out what you want to be and if you're going to be good at it, if you can pass the classes that are necessary for that job. But in the end, you really need to buckle down and be there for yourself and to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. But I just want to tell you guys, just be safe. Don't make choices that are going to ruin your whole life. Because there was lots of opportunities that I could have put myself in jail, that I could have done something really terrible, and I would not be able to become a doctor. It is just not acceptable. Do not make bad choices, because it follows you for the rest of your life. It's not something that just goes away. Just be safe.
My advice to students would be, it is going to be hard. It is going to be hard. It is not easy whatsoever. Life is not easy. You think, like, I don't know if you think, but I used to think that, you know, turning 18, becoming an adult, that was the goal. No one can tell you what to do anymore. That's it. No, you don't get a magic wand where you get a car, you get a house, you get a job, and everything's great and dandy. It doesn't work that way. So life is hard. Know that. Know that life is hard, and understand that just because life is hard doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, but it is going to take work. And so my advice to you is to be determined, stay determined, persevere. When life knocks you down, get back up. Don't let it hold you there, because it will try, and it will try repeatedly. Life will try to knock you down repeatedly, but it's up to you and only you to get back up and to be successful and to pursue the life you want to live. Whatever life that may be. That may not be college, that may not be any of this. But pursue the life that you want to live. Don't pursue the life of someone else's dreams. Because if you chase someone else's dreams, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to realize that your life is done. So just persevere. It's hard. You have many difficult years ahead of you, especially at this young age. Adolescence is not easy. So I do just believe in yourself and persevere, and you'll get through it. But yeah, so that's my advice.
A lot of you guys are like young, and like you're like, oh, I don't really have to care. Like none of this pertains to me. I don't really care about this, but like you have to realize like there's actually people out there that's like expecting you to fail, and I have to realize that too. Like, there's people that expect you to fail, like some people that like tell you like good things, like oh man, you're on the right track, or oh I believe in you. Like some of those people are the main people that expect you to fail. You have to get over that. You have to realize, like I gotta do this for me. Like this is important. Like you can't let nobody like expect you to fail and then you fail. Like you proving them right. Like you prove yourself right, not them. You do what's good for you. Don't prove anybody that you're a failure. Like show people, yo, I can do this. I'm good for something. That's my advice.
My advice, well, success is going to be different, you know, to go to each and every one. So my advice is find out what you feel is success to you, and you know, just go for it. You know, but I agree with like she said, it's going to be hard. You know, it's going to be real hard. You have to like grow up. You know, so, like real quick. Like if you know, like and just don't give up. Really don't give up. Sorry.
Yeah, my advice is everything that they said, but there was a time where I didn't know what university was. Like when I started thinking about college, like seriously, I was like in the middle of my senior year. Like I just started applying to different colleges, and I realized, well, I didn't have the grades from the other previous years to even be at a UC, so I had to start at a JC, and I didn't have anyone telling me, oh, get good grades in high school so you can go to any college you want, because if you get really good grades, schools are going to be wanting you, and they're going to want to ask you, and they're going to give you scholarships. I never really thought of that. I just thought, okay, graduate high school, then enroll in college. But the main thing that I have to say is don't let your past experiences follow you everywhere you go. Don't use that as in a crutch or your escape route, because I've messed up so many times. There was times where I thought I was going to jail. I was in debt, I was in all types of crazy stuff, and you go through with it. Like, I've made millions of mistakes in my life, but I never let them